It says 5:58 and phones say 5:59.
Bye. Speaking of church, she accidentally washed one of her confirmation books with her clothes. Sort of, but her room's such a mess. If it wasn't such a mess, she would not have.
Well, now there's simpatico, but that's only
So,
a short time. All right. It's 6 o'clock and we will bring our city council meeting for October 28th, 2024 to order, and we will begin with roll call, please.
Sarchet,
Here.
Savage,
Here.
Walters,
Here.
Vogel,
here.
Otis.
Here. Item 3, approval of agenda. I'll ask for a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Savage,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Item 4 is public comments. This is the time and place for comments for any item other than those that are a public hearing. Unless Cliff filled out a card, Jenny, I think we're probably good. We will move on then to number 5, consent items. I'll ask for a motion and a second.
So moved?
Second.
And roll call.
Walters,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Savage.
Item 6, business items. A, first reading of ordinance 2024-2300, amending chapter 103, stormwater utility. Mike?
Good evening. So this is a reworked stormwater ordinance. After we looked at the project that we have with the sump pump collector, we wanted to make sure it was in line with the ordinance that we have, and we knew there were probably going to be some changes that we need to make, and some of those changes are as easy as just clearing up some language, make it flow better, I guess is what I want to say. But one of the pieces that we knew we needed to deal with was the hookups after we do the project. You know, like in the water department, sewer ordinance, they have mandatory hookups after so long, after so many feet as well. We do work with people on that, but we did need a mechanism because of the example that I give you inside of the memo that I wrote. We did the Booth Washington Street project, and we had about 50% of the people that did not hook up because we didn't have the ordinance or the teeth, whatever you want to say, to be able to do that. Excuse me. And, you know, that was a project where we did have groundwater that we really needed to try to get out of that road bed, that right of way. So anyway, there's that. We will be giving notice of this so the 90-day notice to hook up, we know that's kind of quick, but we feel that we're going to be notifying these folks as soon as the project is moving forward. So that will actually give a lot more time to have people come back, give their feedback to us. We know we're going to be up on the street up there talking to people individually right at their properties. We just know that, and we intend to do that. We intend to send out letters to get that conversation going. Since the stormwater ordinance and fee was approved, we've come up with a lot more in the stormwater utility that needs to be repaired. It's not just intakes, but the dredging of ponds, those type of things. The cleaning of intakes, we don't do that project right now. We do it on an as-needed basis. So some of those things we can be proactive with if we move forward with funding, those type of things. And of course, like the Marina Cove Pond, the 12 Oaks Pond, those are all gonna have to be dealt with. Those are all retention basins that we need to dredge at some point in time. They are already filling in, we know that. So that's where some of this will come from and help us improve those areas when we need to. just on a side note, we don't accept ponds anymore from developers. That would be like, Chelsea, you can help me out here, but that would be like a negotiation fact that we just don't do unless something can be traded there, but I don't even know what we would trade to make it happen. We just don't take ponds because they are expensive. We don't want them. We can let the homeowners associations or what have you take those. So with that, that's kind of a rundown of some of the changes in the ordinance, why we're asking for it. And it's just try to align with this project that we're doing. And we did, I know Amy Beatty reviewed it, but we did, review this against some other towns. There are more that are more stringent, but we try to do middle of the road. And this is what we come up with.
I will say that I changed the timeline to 180 days. I didn't
Okay.
have a chance to tell Mike that, based on some conversations that we had just to give people more time.
Okay.
And then the letters I have scheduled to go out actually mid-next week if I can pull everything together. So people will be notified well in advance of the project even being started.
You're talking about the sump collector line, 90 days
Yes.
is now 180.
It is, yes. Mike,
We're
I
good.
got to it today and I didn't
We're
have a
good.
chance to follow up with you.
Because I truly looked at it as being that long anyway
Right.
when our first letters go out, so.
I just want to add a couple of things for the council's information. I had talked to several of you about that change and proposed maybe an extended amount of time. So we did increase it from 90 days to 180, and that is in your ordinance for tonight. Did have a conversation with city attorney, and she would actually propose the council hold the first reading tonight, but then she wants us to separate the stormwater utility ordinance and the sump pump ordinance to be its separate ordinance. So what I would propose is have the first reading tonight, and then I would bring back two ordinances for you at the next meeting that are the same language but split into two separate ordinances. One for stormwater utility and one for sump pump section specifically. And then lastly, as we were working on the stormwater ordinance, we talked about the fee and kind of gave the council an overview of the fee at the work session that we had October 14th. But I would propose the council consider increasing that fee, but that is just strictly based off of maintenance costs. I know that we've spent some time talking about Marina Cove Park pond improvements that are going to need to be made. I know that's something that the council did not prioritize in the CIP, but improvements are going to have to be made to that pond in the very near future. And then also, we will probably need to do something similar at 12 Oaks as well. We currently do not do any vacuuming out of intakes. That's something that we'd like to be proactive about. We currently just do work as needed when there's a problem. We'd like to get involved with better maintenance of the stormwater intakes. So that is why I'm proposing a small fee increase for the stormwater utility.
Council, any questions of Mike or Chelsea?
So for the 3 years that we've had this fee are the monies that have been collected where does that go from an accounting perspective? Do we have a individual fund for stormwater or is it
Yes.
pooled? Okay.
We have an individual fund for stormwater utility. Mhm.
And how have we used that money to this point?
The sump pump collector project is the major one that
Okay.
we've done. Now, Chelsea, you might be able to answer that better, but I know we've done some of the street sweeper maintenance out of that because that's what it's doing.
Sure.
Other than that, I'm not sure.
Detention, pond
Yeah,
maintenance, like
maintenance.
crossroads at the lakes, we've had some expenses for that project as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's most of what the fee's been spent on.
Okay.
We also used that fund for the project we did, SQR,
Yes.
stormwater. It's stormwater management, so the money that we gave
Soil
towards.
quality restoration?
Correct. And any, we call it BMP, best management practice applications we get, rain barrels, rain gardens, those kinds of things would also, we can use that fund.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, when talking to Chelsea, this is maybe where we're going with looking at this when we look at water and sewer rates, because this is a line item on the utility bill. The increase does give me pause just because it's newly implemented. I'd like to know how it fits in overall. I know when we're comparing just that line item, we're less than the metro. And I'm getting farther away from trying to be able to push back on the notion that because our water and sewer rates have increased so much, we're still towards the middle of the bell curve. I don't know if that's still true, meaning we're in the middle range of what water and utility or water and sewer utility rates are around the metro. I will be on, so I'm probably a no, just from the fee increase standpoint. I do understand that when it comes to stormwater, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I'm all on board with the projects that we have. I think I would just rather see them do that in a timeline with the funds that we're already collecting. And the more that we do increase, the less comfortable I get with the fee structure that we have here, especially when it comes to fees in general should be a nominal amount, and the rates based on usage should be the larger portion of our utility bills. It's a little bit more problematic here, I think, on the stormwater front, because to charge a big lot with a big house on a curb and gutter street the same $3, $4, or $5 as an older home without, with a ditch and dealing with water issues, just doesn't feel fair to me. So, some of the, I guess, macro concerns that I have here.
Anything else? Jeff, anything? No? So we need a motion and a second?
You want a motion a second, or you want to table it?
Well, I thought you wanted to move forward with it.
I did clarify with Amy today. She said it was fine if we had the first reading, but she'd like it split out with 2 ordinances at the next meeting.
So motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead, I'll second then.
And roll call?
Vogel,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
No,
Savage,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Moving on to item B then, second reading of ordinance 2024-2200, amending chapter 69, parking regulations, section 69.08, no parking zones. Can we get a motion and a second on that?
so moved.
Second.
Discussion, council? If not, we will ask for roll call.
Vogel,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Savage,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Moving on to item 7 then, reports and particulars. We'll begin with staff. Anything from the staff? Okay, anything from Chelsea?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Council members? I would just mention that we had a great open house for our new City Hall Community Center. Had a great attendance, I thought, and it was, thank you for everybody who came and participated in that, and the public as well. So item number 8 is adjournment. I'll ask for a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.